Hey guys, happy Sunday. So this is gonna be a little different. Football's a joy and a passion for me. It's something that I love to watch. I'm a Cowboys fan. Don't hold it against me. Just consider me a football fan. But what I want to do in this is, and I hope you guys can help me. I'm wanting to get more and more into working with professional athletes and just seeing the level we can take them to. I was on the PGA Tour for a year. I've worked with a lot of NFL, NBA players and stuff, but I've never really got to take it to the level that I think I can now. And if you guys could help me, first what I'm going to do is my man Ezekiel Elliot. So if you guys can help by tagging me, the name that I got in here in the caption, and try and let him know that I'm thinking about how I can possibly help him be better. So this is going to go on YouTube for the full version. Fitbusters, if you're not already subscribed, please check me out there. If you're watching this on YouTube, at Muscle Whisperer Josh is my Instagram, where you can see all the work I'm talking about. But we're going to go over the things I see that he could be better in. All right, so the picture you guys are seeing, I've looked at it so much that I don't even really need to look. I was originally going to be doing this video and looking at the picture while I was talking to you guys, but so you can see here, and most people don't know, Ezekiel Elliott broke his left wrist, so obviously his entire left side of his body and right side of his body had to adapt and compensate. So you can see on the left side, it's basically over lengthened. This is the same kind of shift that I would talk about with the pelvis causing over lengthening of the hamstrings. So that left side, you can even see the left abdomen, at the left top ab is even showing more than the right side. And that right side is compressed and then pushed down into it. And what happens when the shoulder gets compressed and pushed down, there's really nowhere for it to go. And since it's like, basically just a circular joint, it pitches forward. And you can see his left side is elongated and longer, and the right side is compressed, but that shoulder on the right side is rolled forward. So for Zeke, we all know he likes to do this and he likes to do that, and he just embarrasses certain defenders in a way that it's humiliating when somebody jumps over you. And the Cowboys have been notorious for having people do that all the way to Jay Novacek. So, but for Zeke, what does it mean when you're looking at this picture? That whole compression and the compensation that's there, you can see on the right side where the chest and the upper ab is almost fused together. They've compressed so much, and the body is simply just trying to continue doing what Zeke is challenging his body to do, and that's to be an incredible athlete who tries to leap over buildings if he could. But the first thing, besides recruitment in the glutes and hamstrings, that you need for jumping and getting that leap as high as you can is the least amount of tension in the front side of your body. So you want to be able to elongate and open each one of those muscles with the least amount of resistance as possible. That's what gives you that consistency in your explosive motions. Now, what do I mean by that? So as an athlete at his level, there's not really much more you would think he could do, but that's wrong. There's a ton that we can always be doing as athletes. I was a competitive athlete my whole life, and I wish I knew this stuff back then. But consistency is everything. Basketball is my big thing. Football is a passion of mine. I wish I played more of it, but for basketball, Zeke can, relate to this because his is all about jumping as much as his stuff. You see him, even when he dives through piles and splits through piles, he almost jumps forward, jumps this. He was a hurdler. So the guy knows and just instinctively feels that. But when you're out there and you're performing at this level that much, your body takes the beating, and you're shortening these muscles and you're compressing them. And unless you have somebody very talented working on you a lot and keeping your body up to date, then you're going to have like a residual buildup. And that's why I think the seasons are as short as they are, and there's only that amount of games in them. It's because of the wear and tear that these guys take, and just the fact that offsetting it is near impossible. I mean, if somebody hits Zeke, it's like a small car accident for one of us. So, I mean, just imagine having that, the amount of times that he has in a season, or a quarterback, let alone, geez, Dak, you're next. But, yeah, you can see in this picture here, I forgot I had this one, but you can see the shoulder that I'm talking about on Zeke. You can see it in Dak. So the more his shoulders roll forward, the harder it's going to be for him to cock that arm back and throw that ball. So back to consistency. When I was in basketball, the one time I'd go up, I feel like I could jump over the basketball hoop. The next time I feel like I jumped like bricks in my butt. I could not get off the ground. So to get that lift and that explosion, like I was talking about, every single time, you simply have to make sure that those muscles can stretch to their full length without any binding tissues around them. And binding tissues would be like your body building up scar tissue and extra fascia and tissue around different areas to build up support, because we're not keeping that area well maintained enough for it to feel like it can rely on that area. That's the exact thing you see right there in his right side upper ab and chest, that fused look and everything is basically what I'm talking about. So opening up his front side, opening up the hip flexors all the way down the rectus femoris to the knee, all the way up through into the insertion right here, which would be those main superficial front lines. You can see a picture here. But those lines staying open would mean that, you know, he would be able to recruit better from his glutes and his hamstrings because nothing would be pulling him forward. But he'd also be able to shoot up really, really tall. And I believe I have a picture I'm going to put in here that has the difference between most of his jumps and then a clear jump where he just got it right. Didn't maybe need to jump as high on this one, or maybe it was towards the end of the jump, but he was much, much taller in it. And you can even see, like, if you look up videos of Zeke doing his hurdle stuff, he has a lot of times where you could tell he was a lot tighter than others because he tucks and tucks and tucks. And you're supposed to tuck as a hurdler, but there's other times where he almost doesn't even seem like he needs to tuck, and that's what I mean. Like, sure, you need to tuck, but the taller you can sit through that tuck as you go over the hurdle, by not completely compressing, the better you're going to come out of that. If you're not sitting on top of your knee when you come over that hurdle, you're essentially going to be able to get that foot out from under you, get that explosion to the next step a lot quicker. So there is an element of just staying at the right pitch and the right level for you to get that recruitment. Because remember, if you're sitting all the way forward, to recruit your glutes is going to be really, really hard. So guys, I hope you can help me in this, even on YouTubers, if we can get a hold of Zeke. But I just want to show the capabilities of these guys, and there's a lot more they could do. I mean, I'm going to do a study which shows that the entire defensive and offensive line I'm talking the entire one in the NFL, not for any specific team, all of them have major pelvic tilts going on, and most of them are being shoved backwards the whole time, and the entire backside of their body, because of an anterior tilt, is elongated. So that's just weakening exactly what they need to stabilize with. So from Zeke to any of these guys, you know, Zeke, it's going to be one thing. If I were to work on him and do what I'm talking about, I would get that entire left shoulder to come back down where the right one is. Right one come up a little bit. I would put a complete line of separation between the abs and the chest. Drop everything down through there. It would immediately, his waist would become much tighter, which, you know, for him, screw the aesthetics, it would allow him to contract his abdomen and stabilize it much harder. So somebody bumps him, hits him hard, everything, it's going to allow him to stutter step out of it rather than being knocked off his feet. Somebody hits him out from, you know, tries to sweep his feet, he'll be able to stay up and possibly get a hand down and react quicker without having any problem to do so. So all these things, elongating these tissues, getting the shoulders back, getting them set in the right position, is basically going to center us in gravity properly, because every angle, every pitch, every whatever twist, rotation we have going on, that takes away from the center of the nervous system, and that basically takes away from the capabilities of how it can fire that muscle and how well it can stabilize that muscle. Everything is about basically electricity running through the body, but through those currents, the pathways need to be in line. Just imagine if electricity worked like a plug and you had your cord running to it, and the more bends it had in it, the less power you actually got to that area. That's essentially what happens. Thank God our cords really don't do that. But in the body, it's different, because at the end of that cord, your telephone that you're charging and plugging it into, it doesn't need to do some firing in order to bend a certain way or leverage a muscle then, you know, so it doesn't really matter the angle of the cord for our phone or whatever we're talking about. But the nerve, basically that cord running to it, if the muscle and area there and that nerve is all twisted up, then yeah, it's going to be a lot different in the way that it recruits. It's going to be a lot harder for Zeke to jump. It's going to be a lot harder for him to stabilize through his jump. It's going to be a lot harder for him to take a hit and possibly come down properly, just because everything's going to be slightly off, and therefore it's going to be that much harder for him to balance and stabilize. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't want to overtalk your ears and do it. This is my first one, so I'm going to try and get better at them. But please check me out at Muscle Whisperer Josh on Instagram. You're obviously watching this on YouTube, but check me out more, guys. I'm going to have more videos up here, different things like this. The next one I'm going to do is Dak Prescott or Des Bryant. Probably Des, and then I'll do Dak. Des has been around for a long time, and I really have seen some issues that I want to help him with, because, I mean, he's getting towards the end of his career. So this is also all about longevity, guys. So this thing is not just for the performance and the aesthetic, but it's also to prevent these guys getting hurt, and that's the main thing. I don't want to see any of my guys like have what Romo's got going on right now and then get passed up. Even though Dak did an amazing job, and I love the dude for what he did, and Zeke also bringing the team back to life. It just sucks to see a guy that could have potentially been with the Super Bowl team and may just never get that chance now. So, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it.